Sometimes when you're feeling a little sick after a weekend, you feel you should have won, the doctor has a prescription. That prescription is a good old run roll. And we'll talk more about this total domination by Tennessee baseball right after this introduction. Once again, Frank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel. Thank you guys for tuning in with me. Thank you if you've been with me through last night and now fourth video of the day, talking baseball, talking basketball along the way. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Tennessee tonight, game one of the second SEC weekend series. Total domination against Ole Miss tonight. Total domination, 15-3. They end this thing in 7 innings. The run rule was in effect. I love the run rule. Myself, I hate seeing games prolonged. Yes, there's been those instances in history where teams have come back when they've been down double digit. But that's probably a small percentage of the time. I like the run rule. I love it. I mean, even if Tennessee gets run ruled, at some point they get run ruled. I don't remember a time of them being run ruled, but you never know with the SEC. It could happen. But they come out tonight again. Friday night, you're seeing a team's normally – that's a team's ace for the weekend. That's 2 weeks in a row they've lit up an ace. Now the question is, what do you do the rest of the weekend going forward? Tennessee takes care of business tonight again, 15-3. And, the first inning didn't get off to a great start. Second inning, how about the bottom of this lineup, getting them going? You had Reese Chapman. We were, on text, we were kind of wondering why he was in the lineup tonight. Great job by him tonight. 4 at-bats. He was on base every time. He had 2 hits, 3 RBIs, and he also had 2 walks tonight, and he had a run scored. So he got it going in the bottom of the second inning. He got the 2-out RBI. Dean Curley follows up, and which I thought this was big for him, hit a 3-run bomb that puts Tennessee up 4-0. Christian Moore follows, makes it 5-0. They go back-to-back. Christian Moore hit another bomb in the game as well. But just a good night overall. I mean, you still have your flaws in there. This team still had 9 strikeouts tonight, and I think you just have to face the reality with this team. They're going to strike out a lot. You only had 2 guys in the lineup tonight without hits. Amick went 0 for 3. He did have a walk. He did have a run scored. Cannon Peebles had a rough night tonight. 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts on the night. So curious to see if Tony Vitello goes with Cal Start tomorrow, and maybe Peebles is out of the lineup. They will be facing a lefty again tomorrow when we talk about it, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. But, look at the lineup again. Multiple guys had multi-hit nights. Christian Moore, 2 hits. Kavaris Tears, 3 hits, 3 for 3. He had a walk, also 4 runs, scored 2 RBIs, a double. He had a home run, man. It was a rocket to center field, just a rocket. It got out pretty quick. I thought at first it was going to be at the center fielder, and I don't know if the thing just kept rising or what happened, but all of a sudden it's out of there. Pretty impressive for him. Dylan Dreiling had a hit. Robin Villeneuve, talked about him having to adjust things. He had a good night tonight. He did have 1 strikeout, but he was 3 for 4, 4 RBIs, 3 runs scored. He had a home run. Nice night for him tonight. Very good. And again, Reese Chapman, good to see. Good call by Tony Vitello. Sometimes I guess players make you look good. Sometimes they don't. Reese Chapman made Tony Vitello look good tonight by putting him in that lineup. And, good for him, because they need the more bats, the merrier. Chapman was a highly touted prospect coming in. It's just not worked up to this point. Now, at this point, after another good night for him, he started coming on a little bit here recently. His average is now up to 360 for the season. He only has 25 at-bats, 9 hits, but it was down in the low 200s. So, good for him getting his average to where it is right now. In turn, we've watched Cannon Peebles' average dip to 265. Throughout the rest of the lineup, Curley's at 279. It's a respectable average. The rest of the guys, man, you're looking in the 340 range. Villeneuve back to 375 tonight. Rowling, 347. Amick, 349. 349 is one of the lowest ones in the lineup. That tells you anything. That's how good these guys are hitting on the season. Now the question is going to be, how do they do the rest of the weekend? We saw this same kind of thing last weekend. They were close to run rule in Alabama. Alabama got a couple of runs that prolonged that game last week, but then it was the rest of the weekend where the balls fell short on it. Drew Beam started out the gates not too well, and Tennessee, they just got themselves in too big of a deficit with too many mistakes that night. And then on Sunday, I mean, I think that's a game you've got to look back on for Tony Vitello and that team and be angry about it, that you should have won that ball game. They should have won 2 out of 3 at least last weekend. So how does this team bounce back this weekend? We'll see. A.J. Causey goes again tonight. He does his thing. Again, looking at his numbers, let's see. He went 5 2/3 innings. He gave up 3 runs, 2 earned, 5 hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. For the year, his ERA is at 1.63. 50 strikeouts, 38 2/3 innings. This guy, man, when I saw him, I saw his numbers coming over. I was like, well, he could strike some guys out, but he had a high ERA last year at Jacksonville. But or Jacksonville State. I can't remember which one it is now. But anyhow, he was their Friday night guy. The year before that, he'd served as their closer some. He looked to me like a guy. It's like, I don't know. It could be a good pickup. It's been a great pickup so far. He stepped right in where A.J. Russell's been out. And, at this point, I don't see how you move him out of that Friday night role. There's not a better pitcher on this staff right now. Could A.J. Russell possibly be? Yes, but that remains to be seen. He's got to get back first. But, look at the matchups the rest of the weekend. On here, you've got Drew Beam versus Liam Doyle for Ole Miss. Doyle is a left-handed pitcher. This has been a weakness of Tennessee this year. I feel like they've done pretty well against left-handed pitching. Did good again tonight against it. Again, they had 9 strikeouts, but it is what it is with this lineup. It really is. We can sit and go on about it all day long. There were some good at bats tonight. They did a lot of good things. Obviously, putting 15 runs up on a Friday night SEC starter. That's a big time offense for you. Liam Doyle tomorrow against Drew Beam. Sunday, it says on UT Sports to be determined. I was reading another article that said A.J. Russell. I would expect it'll be A.J. Russell for Tennessee. And Grayson, I'm not sure if you pronounce it Saunier or Saunier, but 3-2, 4.09 ERA, right-handed pitcher. I like these ERAs. We're seeing all of them in that 4 range, give or take a little bit. With Doyle at 3.95, Gunnar Dennis tonight was 4.56. His ERA just went tonight. This is according to the stats on D1Baseball.com. His ERA just ballooned up for the season from 4.56 to 7.23. Woo! 10 runs, all 10 earned tonight. Gave up 9 hits, did have 5 strikeouts, 3 2/3 innings. 3 of the 4 guys that they faced, they got runs off of. The last guy had 2/3 of an inning, gave up 1 hit, struck out 2, no runs for them. But Tennessee, again, just domination, total domination tonight by this lineup. It was good to see that bottom of the order, man. They got this team going tonight. Top of the order come out in the first, went down in order. And, some things I've not talked about that's getting close, and it's probably, barring an injury, heaven forbid that doesn't happen, but Blake Burke is close to setting the school record for home runs for a career. And Christian Moore, there's a good chance at the end of this season, those two are going to be 1 and 2 on the all-time Tennessee home run list. And that's in 3 years' time. And you got to think their first year, they didn't play full-time. They would swap out DHing some, or maybe there were other guys with DH, but they were in a record-setting lineup that you're getting not a ton of at-bats. They got plenty of them, made the most of them for the most part. But, what these 2 guys are doing, and they're both off to great starts this year. It's good to see. I'm really happy to see Blake Burke doing what he's doing, because when we hit SEC play last year, that's when he hit a funk and had a real hard time getting out. He's swinging a good bat. He's becoming a good all-around hitter, and I believe you got to see as of right now, his draft stock has to be going up, showing that the adjustments he's made going the opposite way. He's played good defense this year as well. I think he's really improved on his defense at first base, because I didn't always think that was great last year, but like the play that ended the game, Curley made a great stop in the hole. He played it smart. He bounced it across, and I thought that was a tough hop that Burt got at the end. He snagged it into the ball game. Great job by both guys on that one. I'll be back with you. I'll try to get a recap. It's going to be a little hectic tomorrow night with the baseball and basketball games conflicting. So I'll definitely still try to get that recap in at some point. Probably talk a little bit about it on the post-game show right after basketball tomorrow night. So we'll either be happy we're moving on to the Sweet 16, or we're probably going to have House of Orange Unfiltered tomorrow night. Hopefully that's not going to be the case. But thank you guys for tuning in with me. Lots of stuff I released today, basketball and baseball. I hope you'll check that out for me. Make sure you like this thing, share it, subscribe. It is free to subscribe. It does not cost you a penny to subscribe. But appreciate all your support, guys. I hope you have a great rest of the night. My name's Frank Rock. This is House of Orange Sports Channel. Tennessee dominates Ole Miss, and as always, go Vols.